I basically just started taking it apart, checking everything, reset it, straighten the gear legs, align the toe, and now it's about really close to zero and almost ever so slightly towed out, and I'm okay with that. I'm with Dino Don on having a little bit of toe out on a tail dragger on the front nose. So that was quite a bit of work. You can see I'm bringing out it also didn't have a proper pitot system in it. It had just some Tygon tubing, which as it goes around corners it can just fold up pretty easily, so I got rid of that. Give you a look at the interior. I'm still working on it. I just finished a bunch of wiring cleanup on the inside. There was a bunch of, I don't know what to call it, scabbed together kind of pieces, like, I don't know, from one point to the other. In general, in aviation, you're supposed to only have no more than one splice. Well, this had like 4 in a couple different areas, so I went through and cleaned it all up. I switched, basically put an avionics master. I haven't labeled it. I took this off. This was labeled transponder, so I'm sorry, this was labeled strobe, and I turned it into the avionics master. I still have to label that. I installed AV20. This is going to take the place of a stall warning, so I'm going to use angle of attack. AV20's got angle of attack plus battery voltage plus a bunch of other stuff. The rest you can kind of see. Hopefully you can see everything. Video for the tack, and pretty sure that this is triggered for propeller RPM. I'll pull out my RPM meter and put it on there and check it out. Engine information, oil alternator warning, altimeter, and airspeed, and that's, besides the AV20, that's all I've got. Here's the compass, of course. Back up a little bit. I'm pretty sure you can see that. So one of the things that also was a little disconcerting is that this piece was up in here like this, and maybe a little bit higher, but you get the idea. It was up here like this, and so imagine sticking your legs in there. You can only get your legs like only so far. This would hit your knee. Your knee would hit on this plate, and you would only have like that much room for the stick to move, which is a little bit iffy. You kind of want to be able to have, you know, full throw if you need it. So you need your legs to be able to go around there. So I took that plate out, which is where the fuses were. Right, that's where all the fuses were, on that plate. And with the help of my son, I've got these 3D printed fuse boxes. So I put all the circuit breakers there. They're tucked in, you know, behind the throttle right there. All of the rest of the circuit breakers, which I still need to label, are all down here. And last but not least, this ship is outfitted with aux tanks. So the aux tank box will go here. I'll tie these into it, and I can. These are transfer pumps to transfer fuel from the aux tank into the tank. I guess the main tank that's up here. This is the main tank right here. All right. So fuel shut off. Now, when Chuck turned this into trying to turn it into a light sport, he removed the hand crank, and so there are a lot of parts missing. I've ordered the pulleys, chains, gears, got some random parts. I ordered some universal joints to hook this back up. So normally where this plate is, I still am going to take this plate out. Where this plate is where the retract mechanism per the War Corsair designs, where that was, right in here, and then the mechanism that actuates them goes through those holes, right? And then out from there, there's a pair of universal joints because of the, inverted gull wing to get down to the landing gear. So you can also see I'm working on some other things. This has a push to talk on the top. I've wired that in to this cable right here, and this is going to be plugged into the radio. Then you plug this in, you plug your headset into this, and then you have push to talk on a stick. The radio is going to be just a little handheld. There's very limited space. I'm going to go grab the handheld. I'll give you a view of the airplane. This is the handheld. I'm going to mount it either up here, or most likely it's going to be right down here, as long as it's out of the way of the handle that I get for this, which it is going to be, it's pretty tight, but I think this will be out of the way. This airplane does have an antenna in the back, it looks like, with the ground plane already set up. So that's what I'm working on. This is USB power for that radio, and the reason I bought this radio for it, this PJ2 Plus, is because you can plug in a regular aviation headset into it. You don't have to have jumpers or modifications or anything. So I've already checked that this radio and this with my headsets works, and the push to talk works, so it transmits. Obviously I got to build a mount for it. This is the power supply, USB power supply to the radio, so it'll turn on with when you turn the avionics on. So it didn't have a dedicated avionics bus before, but right now these four are the avionics bus. I still have to do labels, but this is for the AV20, this is for the transponder, and this is for the USB-C power right there. This hinge, I'm still looking. I need to, in order to power up the aux tanks, I need to have a ground. So I'm going to bring a ground to the floor here and have it go across. I'm taking this plate out and have it go to the aux tanks and to the wing lights, which are not installed yet, of course. All right, I've been working on, okay, so here's where there used to be a panel right here with the aux tanks, switches, the lights, and the tank level indicators up here, but it stuck out and this switch was right here. So, man, if you banged your head against that, you get that, basically that stick in your forehead, or not the stick, but the switch in your forehead or in your eye, or, you know, it's just too much, too close to my face. So I've got to fill these in, fiberglass over those, of course. been working on the canopy a lot. So there's some old hardware here. These hooks, this is the left. These hooks go like this. So, I mean, Chuck had a decent but a little bit complicated system where it was kind of pinched together. Like this was what held the height. So this pinched it, then you clamped them together, and then you bolted it to the canopy. But I got rid of these pieces, which were kind of binding up. It's still not great, but still working on it. I may actually so I fabricated these pieces so that they fit perfectly on this track, or at least close enough to perfect that it doesn't bind and gall. So I spent quite a bit of time on that. The whole point was that this had an extra seal in it, so it was double wide, so this was not coming closed far enough, and it had a huge gap. Like you could slide your hand all the way up in there. And don't really need that much of a gap. So with it pulled forward like this, now it's down, not quite flush, but close enough. Okay, the other thing that this airplane has is a little storage compartment back here. This is not the final configuration. I just got done welding nuts onto that perfectly perpendicular to each other. That was a fiasco. Put a tube in between the left and right side so they can stay aligned. Yeah, so there's also a tray that fits back here for auxiliary cargo. Gonna wind up putting bolts in here with washers that slide up and down here to keep the canopy straight. Going back, it didn't, the pitot system in the front was just literally open to atmosphere behind the dash, behind the instrument panel. Wasn't really happy about that. So I installed the proper pitot system with the tubing and all of the little kind of lock nuts and little tubing adapters, and put a pitot static port on the side. Tried to keep it away from their wings so there's no dynamic pressure change here, and didn't want to get it too far back where it's getting too narrow. Didn't want it too far forward. Basically, pretty sure you don't want it anywhere in the area of the wing, and I didn't want to go forward, so I went back. So speaking of forward, I might as well show you what I'm working on the gas tank. So interesting, the plans call out, they say that you can make a fiberglass gas tank, which this used to be. Can't even open it now. Let me put you up there, and I'll try and open this. So if you look at the back of this, it used to be a gas tank, and the filler cap seals here. So now you have to seal the what used to be the top of the tank. You have to seal it to the gas tank. And I think what he tried to do, what Chuck did, was I think he put like a little bead of silicone around here to seal it. But there was some evidence of some gas that had been leaking on the top here. So I believe that's not sealed. It's not going to seal. So I've ordered a piece of 3-inch tubing with a 2.5-inch diameter. This is slightly larger than 2.5. I may have to trim it down a little bit. So I'm basically going to heat that ring up nice and hot, slip it over, and let it cool off and seize to it. And then this will fit inside of that 2.5-inch inside diameter and seal. And I'll have a proper sealing gas tank. So one more thing to do. Chuck did a bunch of really neat things, and his friend, I got to give, he has an A&P friend that he's working with and they did a lot of good things on this. Just a little more to do and it'll be ready, I think. Cleaned up, I spent days and days cleaning up the wiring under there. Okay, what else? So you can probably tell I've sanded a lot on the horizontal stab. The paint was literally falling off the leading edge. Like this was not bad at all, but just trailering the airplane home, the paint was coming off. And looking closely at the paint, it's kind of like yeah, I think it's just exterior house paint. It looks okay for a Corsair, but it literally was falling apart. Like where I put some, to travel, I'd put some tape right here, and it just peeled the paint right off. Just and it wasn't like duct tape or anything. I put that blue masking tape, and I put some blue masking tape. Where else was it? I put it up here, and it pulled some off here, and I don't know what this is, but maybe it's a clear coat, but it pulled that off. It pulled it off here and pulled all this off. Just that blue tape. That was a bummer. So this clearly needs to be primered with some kind of epoxy paint or something harder. I don't think it doesn't have to look great to fly, but it would be nice if it looked great. This is some hanger rash